this morning, Good Day Columbus is helping you keep your financial resolutions right out of the gate.
Brad Huffman is here this morning to show us how we can get out of debt and save more money. That's always a big resolution for every year.
Absolutely. It applies to all of us any time of the year. Certainly the start of the year is important because it's a fresh, clean plate. We can do whatever we want. So it's a great time to get started. And really, again, not that tough. If you do the right things, set yourself up, autopilot, make life easy.
If it's not working now, start it in February or March whenever. Any time is good for that.
Exactly. And number one is let's go after the debt.
There you go.
Again, we're going to focus a little bit on credit card, but it's going to be very broad in scope. Maybe you're a newer graduate, or you've got a lot of student loans, or you've got other types of debt you want to tackle. The strategy is the same, but again, having a plan for it. Just sending in that check every month isn't quite enough. It's important, but not quite enough. You need to have a plan for that, and that's really important.
So where do we establish a plan?
Well, the first thing you want to do is write down your debts.
Okay.
So write down what you have outstanding, put it on paper. I want to know the balance, I want to know the interest rate, and I want to know the payment.
Okay.
Everything, every credit card, every student loan, start with that. And then what you can do is there's a lot of neat tools that we can focus on to help put a plan together.
You like bankrate.com.
This is a great tool. There's a lot of websites that have neat stuff. This one is very broad in scope, so I really like to use it. So if you've got a debt situation you want to tackle, start here. Main website, if you go here, you hit on the financial planning website, and then there's a calculators link. So you're going to click on that. This is the problem with free sites, is they're going to also try to advertise.
It takes a second to load.
So it's going to load there. So then if we go down, you can see there's a lot of different tools we have available. Again, I'm going to focus on this one right here, Credit Card Payoff Calculator.
Interesting.
Very simple. This is not rocket science.
No.
But it will help you develop a plan. So again, if we go in and you've written down the information that you need, we can go in here, we can put in our balance. Let's just use $5,000 is our number.
Excuse me.
So we've got that in there. Then pick the interest rate. Again, look at your statement. It's going to tell you, I'm going to use 13%, or I'm going to use 20%, because that's sadly a pretty reasonable number.
Pretty high, but still pretty common.
Unfortunately, yes. So then you have a couple options here. So we can consider how much you can pay per month, or when do you want to pay it off. So again, have a goal. You want to be very specific when you're dealing with debt or any financial goal. So in this case, let's assume I can afford $100 a month. So what it's going to do then, I'm going to hit calculate, and it's going to go through. Oh, we're not even hitting the minimum payment. So we have to address that. So if we go in, let's say it's $200 a month. And again, hit calculate. Okay, that's a problem.
You're going to have to get closer to maybe $500
So
a month.
let's pick a debt-free date so we don't have to deal with the math. I want to be paid off in 36 months.
Excuse me.
So we're going to calculate that. And now it's saying I need to pay $185, almost $186 a month.
Okay.
So, and you can play with this. All of these variables can be shifted around. So you just want to come up with a number that's comfortable. And again, this is the time to be aggressive. So if you're paying the minimum now, that's not going to work. You really do need to hash through the budget.
And you need to do this for each credit card that you have.
Well, you can do, absolutely. And you want to start with the highest cost debt possible. So if you've got two cards, one's at 12, one's at 20. Start out with the 20, because that's costing you more. Play with this, come up with a plan, and then I want you to print this out. I want a hard copy of this sitting somewhere, maybe up on the refrigerator to remind you, because you really do want to focus on this goal. Maybe something comes up, you need to adjust a plan, adjust it, but have it down in front of you. And again, be very aggressive on paying this off. Again, 20% sounds like a ludicrous number, but it's not.
It's not.
Well, and once you get this one paid off, you now have that money that you can also apply to the next one, so it pays off even faster.
Yeah, and again, if you had student loans, maybe it's student loans we have in here. It works the same way. It's a very simple calculator. But again, having something structured is really the key, because otherwise you're just sending in the check, don't even know maybe when it's being paid off. Have a payoff date in mind, have a specific payment in mind, and use these tools. Very simple to do.
Wow. And then we talked about cut up the credit cards, start paying with cash.
Yes.
Very, very important.
Whenever possible, absolutely. And the hope really is you tackle the debt side, then we get to the really important stuff, which is the saving side. Two important goals. Debt has to be one, because it's very expensive. This is, again, very realistic for many people. But the saving side has to be very important. So once we've dealt with that, you really need to have that emergency fund in place. Get that bucket of money so that you've got your backup plan. And then you can get into the retirement savings. That has to be a very important goal for everybody in 2015. Get started. Employer plan, traditional IRA, Roth IRA. the vehicles are out there. It's just taking advantage of them. But go through your budget. See where you can squeeze out. Maybe it's a couple percentage points of your income that you can get. Ideally, I want to see everybody starting in the 5 to 15% range with the hope of being in 10 to 20% of your income being saved into retirement
When
plans.
you can. Brad, we're
Whenever
out of
you
time.
can.
That's
Wow.
great
Great
advice,
stuff.
though. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much.
Pleasure.
We appreciate it. If you want to see more about Brad's tips and more, all you have to do is go to gooddaycolumbus.com, click on news links at the bottom of the page, and you can find all the information right there.